right, I will call to order the January 2nd, 2024 council meeting. If you would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance in a moment of silence. And just to let you know that in honor of our first meeting of the year, the colors are being presented by the Milford Community Fire Department Honor Guard and the Police Department Honor Guard.
Forward, march. Detail, halt. Right, face. Present, arms.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order, arms. Left, face. Forward, march.
Thank you. Thank you to our honor guards. Jackie, will you please call the roll?
Yes. Mayor Evans,
Here?
Mr. Parrish,
Here.
Ms. Cooper,
Here.
Ms. Chamberlain,
Here.
Mr. Velardo,
Here.
Mr. Price,
Here.
Mr. Thompson.
Here.
All right, and as you may notice, we have three new people up here, actually four, I guess, not one not new, but it's time for their swearing in. Mr. Pacheco.
Thank you, Mayor.
You guys will all meet him at the
Members of
podium.
council.
If anyone wants to take pictures, you can come up here and stand in front of us and take pictures. So I could try to take some too.
All right, when we're done, you'll all be signed. Everybody, you can rearrange to get wherever you need. I don't wanna-
Come on.
You can come over here, it doesn't matter.
Right here's a good
Whatever,
shot.
I mean, you can block us, we don't care. We don't.
Everybody good? All right, very good. I'm gonna raise my right hand, I'm gonna ask you to say aye, and state your name, and then we'll go through it all together, all right? I state your name.
I,
Ralph Thompson. Promise and swear.
Promise and swear
To support the Constitution of the United States of America.
to support the Constitution of the United States of America,
The Constitution of the State of Ohio.
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
And the Charter of the City of Milford.
and the Charter of the City of Milford,
And to faithfully,
and faithfully,
honestly,
honestly,
and impartially.
and impartially
Discharge the duties.
discharge the duties
Of City of Milford City Council member.
of City of Milford City Councilman
To the best of my abilities.
to the best of my abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Each sign one and then I'll file it.
We're good. Here. Excited to start the year with some new faces. I see some familiar old faces in the audience, though. That's good.
I can do it.
Summer of 24.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome, everyone. All right, that takes us to the election of mayor, Mr. Pacheco.
Yes, we need a motion to appoint the mayor.
I would like to put forth a motion to appoint Mayor Evans as mayor.
Second?
We have a motion, a second. Ms. Bank, we have a roll call, please.
Yes.
Unless there's any discussion on the motion. Roll call, please.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes. Congratulations, Mayor.
Thank
Now
you.
we get to go.
Thank you.
go be sworn in.
honestly
honestly,
and impartially
and impartially
discharge the duties of mayor
discharge the duties of mayor
to the best of my abilities.
to the best of my abilities.
So help me God. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. So now that takes us to nomination for vice mayor.
You need a motion to appoint a vice mayor and then a second, if that's what council's pleasure is.
I would like to nominate Christopher Parrish.
Second.
Any discussion on the motion?
I would like to nominate Ralph Lardo.
Second.
Okay, so we have a properly made motion. We have a second of the motion with respect to Mr. Parrish. So unless there's a motion to table, that motion is properly heard. So there can't be another motion to nominate someone else. There can be a motion to table that, in which case that will table it, and then you can continue to have discussion. But right now, there is a motion and a second to have Mr. Parrish be the vice mayor. Again, there can be a motion to table, but that would require 4 votes, and then that would table that motion. So it's up to, I don't know what you guys want to do, but that's the proper process.
Is there a motion to table? Otherwise, we will vote on Mr. Parrish.
That's correct, Mayor. Okay, seeing
vote for
none, so
Ms.
then we have, again, to be clear, the only thing that could stop motion at this particular point that was made and properly seconded with discussion was the motion to appoint Mr. Parrish. If there's a motion to table, which I did not hear, then it's proper to vote now on Mr. Parrish.
Now, just so I'm clear,
Yes.
there's a second motion. Does that get tabled or,
So it has to be, it has to be tabled, the original motion, there can't be 2 motions on the table.
okay,
The motion to stop the current motion that would be up, which would be for Mr. Parrish because it was properly seconded, there could be discussion, or there could be a motion to table that motion. If that's tabled, then there can be any other motion that's put forward, in which case a motion for, the other motion could then be properly considered. But right now, unless there's a motion to table, which is properly carried by council, there'll be a vote on Mr. Parrish.
so it'd be just a yes or no vote then?
On the table? That's,
No,
I'm
on-
sorry.
Mr. Parrish.
On Mr. Parrish, yes, I'm sorry, and it would require a majority vote, yes, Mr. Velardo, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
that's-
Yes, I apologize.
Okay, Jackie, will you call the roll, please?
Yes. Mayor Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
No?
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Parrish?
Congratulations, Mr. Parrish.
I state your name.
I, Christopher Parrish,
Promise and swear
promise and swear
to support the Constitution of the United States of America,
to support the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution of the State of Ohio,
and the Charter of the City of Milford,
and the Charter of the City of Milford,
and to faithfully,
honestly,
honestly, and impartially discharge the duties of vice mayor
discharge the duties of vice mayor
to the best of my abilities.
to the best of my abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God.
So that takes us on the agenda to proceedings. Do I have a motion to approve the council meeting proceedings from December 19th, 2023?
So moved.
Second.
And who made the motion?
Christopher.
Mr.
Who
Parrish?
second?
Kim.
Kim?
Kim.
Yeah.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Abstain?
Mr. Thompson?
Abstain.
Mr. Price?
Abstain.
All right, that takes us to financial statements. Do I have a motion to adopt the November 2023 finance report?
So moved.
Second. Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Abstain.
Mr. Velardo?
Abstain.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Abstain.
All right, that takes us to public comments. Does anyone from the public wish to make a comment? A lot of people, no comments. Oh, here we have one. Yay. We haven't heard from this person for a
Oh.
while.
Wow.
I'd really like to reserve this to later on, if I could. I'm gonna take some time, if you don't mind, but, want to say a few things I didn't get a chance to say at my last council meeting. It was pretty emotional for me at that time, so I didn't really want to say. I was running late tonight because I didn't know if I knew where council chambers were. And the first council meeting in 45 years, I haven't worn a tie. I'd like to congratulate all council people, the new people. This is a privilege that you're going to realize has been afforded to you by the citizens of Milford. It's a real honor, and I know you'll grow to appreciate that. I'd like to welcome back Ralph to council. As a matter of fact, there are 3 former mayors and a present mayor of Milford here. Ralph, of course, was a former mayor. Amy Velardo was a former mayor. And the honorary mayor of Milford, Johnny Velardo, is here as well. Now, if you just indulge me, I don't mind if you take text or send emails while I'm doing this. That many juries done that when I tried cases. There's 3 things that I wanted to bring out to council's attention, if I can be so presumptuous, as it's really not advice, it's more of a wish on my part, maybe a New Year's resolution for you. And they're not necessarily in the order of importance. The first thing is the 5 Points Landing. I've been in my present office in the city of Milford right at 5 Points for 50 years. And I used to remember fondly taking time off from work and going out, sitting on my front porch and watching my kids play in the Milford Main playground. And I'm looking forward to doing that again this spring and summer and for all future years. And watching the families walk their baby carriages, their dogs, their children, enjoying the park. And I just hope that we can add some amenities to the park to not only serve as a place where our families, Milford families, can go and enjoy the park and each other, but it really as a destination point to bring people from outside Milford as a destination place to Milford and to enjoy the park maybe at first, and then enjoy everything else we have in the city of Milford. Downtown Milford, Main Street, Lila Avenue, down at the Commerce Park. For those of you who are born and raised here in Milford, I wasn't born and raised here. I came 50 years ago, the day after I graduated law school. Been here ever since. Married a second generation Milford girl. All my kids were Milford High School graduates. And there's a lot to enjoy, and this council has a lot to do with making Milford a great place to live and work. And the former council people who are coming back to Milford, Sandy, Kyle, Ben, when I was on council, the best thing I could ever say about a council person was Milford's a better place to live and work because you were here, and I can say that about you. And so I think we can do something to the park to make it a place where it's going to be, it's the gem of the city of Milford, and I'm looking forward to that again. Another thing is growth, and these aren't necessarily in order, but growth. And you grow through annexation. I don't want council to be locked in to believing that Milford is now locked in. There's no further places that you can expand. Any developer will tell you that, you know, they print millions and millions of dollars every day, but they don't make new land. And just a little short war story that I can tell you, basically a cautionary tale. I had been out of law school a couple years, and the firm I worked for in Milford, we represented 3 or 4 people who owned property on 50 up to the Savile and Grand Place up there. And we went out there, and it was just trees and grass and hills, and they had all these visions and plans. And we presented that to council, that we went forward with council to request them to annex the property. And council, nice people, very smart people, and I know they were smart because 2 years later they hired me. I'm joking. And they turned it down. They wanted Milford, what they stated was, and again, these people became my good friends. What they stated was they wanted to keep Milford a small community, a bedroom community to Cincinnati, basically a Terrace Park-like community, and they turned it down. Well, that property later became SDRC. And the millions and millions of dollars that would have been generated to Milford, we don't have that now. So please don't keep a closed mind to future expansion. There are ways and places you can do that. So please don't forget about growing the city. The last thing is the charter. I think one of my major, biggest disappointments when I was working here for the city on council was the defeat of the charter. And I think that had a lot to do with the misinformation and disinformation that was online about the charter. Essentially, the charter was just procedural. There wasn't really much of a substance in the charter changes. These procedural, basically to bring the charter up to the media age, the social media age. So we didn't have to keep posting ordinances on billboards and publication in newspaper and all the old stuff. I'm not sure people read newspapers anymore, but it's all social media, and that's all the charter intended to do, is to bring it current and up to date. And benefiting from 2020 hindsight, I think, and I accept responsibility for its defeat because I was in charge of basically in charge of the amendments and promoting it. And I don't think we promoted it enough. I don't think we advertised it enough to the citizens to inform them of what it was all about. And again, I accept that responsibility. Again, it was one of the big disappointments. And I'm wrapping it up here, and I want to congratulate Lisa for her mayorship.
Thank you.
I was honored to serve with her when I was on council. She is also in the line of one of my favorite council people of all time, her former father-in-law, Jack Evans, who was a great council person. And I'd like to acknowledge a couple goats. And for those of you who are jocks, GOAT means greatest of all time. And that would be your clerk, Jackie Bain. And whatever she said, advice, whatever she says, do. Do. Another GOAT is your chief of police, Jamie Mills. Well, you all know Jamie. I'm not going to go into it. I want you to, I was honored and at my pleasure to serve with Michael, whose leadership and development skills I greatly appreciated while I was with council. Your law director, Brian, my advice is always, always, always listen to your attorney. Always.
That's good
And
advice.
that's not a joke. You know, being a lawyer just looks easy on TV. In real life, it's hard. So take that appreciation.
Thank you, Mike.
So again, I mean, there are other, I was gonna bring out a whole list of 500 or 600, 700, 800,000 people I work with over the years. And if I'm missing you, it's not through lack of love and affection, it's just, I don't wanna take all these good people's time. So just know that, I wish you luck in the coming future, and, I'll be right across the street if you need me.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public wish to make a comment?
I would like to make one comment, Mike. GOAT has your name behind it also, so thank you.
Agree, yes.
Yes. Many years of service. All right, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mayor. We are getting ready to open up a committee of the whole, and Ms. Bain will go through all that. But this is merely to put forth for legislation for council, when we close the committee of the whole, the appointments to the 911 Review Committee, which are essentially, not essentially, which are statutory. Mr. Doss is part of that because the statute specifically requires that the chief executive of the biggest populace of the municipal corporation in the county adheres to that position. Claremont County Prosecutor's Office actually said, hey, Milford's not even in the Claremont County. Can we do something, 911 services? And the state said, the statute says what the statute says. So Mr. Doss needs to be appointed as a matter of statute. It's kind of a perfunctory council issue. It's required by statute. You don't really have a choice. And then the second was Kathy Bailey, which is also a requirement under the statute that the legislatures of the municipal corporations within the county all appoint an individual by majority, and the person that has been suggested there is Kathy Bailey. That does not mean, Mr. Doss, you don't have a choice. Ms. Bailey, you don't, but she's been recommended by a number of the other municipalities within
A lot of the municipalities have already passed ordinances.
and they've already passed those. Thank you, Mayor. So that would simply be a perfunctory appointment of what other folks have done. You don't have to accept it. You can say no. Mr. Doss, you don't have a choice. The statute says he's.
Do we need to do those separately, though?
You could if you wanted to,
Or can we
Mr.
do them
Velardo.
together?
I have them written together, but you could do them
I
separately.
would prefer to do them together.
Yeah, that's how I have them written. Yeah.
I'd like to go ahead and make that motion then.
If I could, I'm sorry, Mr. Velardo, thanks for doing that. I need to stop talking, and we need to open the committee of the whole just to talk, unless we're gonna do anything else, because the charter, and I agree, Mr. Manier, and here's one of the charter changes I would recommend, but anyway, what we have to do is we have to open the committee as a whole, discuss it. We don't need to discuss it anymore, because I've just done it, but discuss it and allow public comment if need be, and then close the committee of the whole. So if you could, but I appreciate that, Mr. Velardo. So if we could, Ms. Bain, if you could open up the committee of the whole meeting, please.
Okay, roll call. Ms. Evans?
Here.
Mr. Parrish?
Here.
Ms. Cooper?
Here.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Here.
Mr. Velardo?
Here.
Mr. Price?
Here.
Mr. Thompson?
Here.
And at our, I attend the Claremont County Mayor's meetings, and at the meetings, Kathy Bailey requested to be on the committee. So if you want to go to the meetings, sure. But I think all the other municipalities have already approved her or are going to approve her, so.
So, yeah, so now there would be any public comment, I guess, then, and then.
Yeah, anybody from the public wish to make a comment about the 911 committee? Okay, being none, do we have a motion?
I'll make it, that we appoint both Michael Doss and Kathy Bailey. Is that the way you?
Again, Mr. Velardo, thank you for, the motion would be specifically, and again, this is one of the reasons why I would change the charter or would recommend it, but we need to refer it to the full council, refer that motion, what you were just ready to make.
Okay, I'll rephrase that. I'll refer that motion to council
Perfect.
for the whatever.
For the appointment of Ms. Bailey and Mr. Doss.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr.
Do we have
Velardo.
a second?
Second.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes.
All right, and then do I have a motion from the committee of the whole meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
All right, that takes us then to our city manager report, Mr. Doss.
First, let me thank you, Mike Manier, for the recognition. I appreciate that. Congratulations to our new council members. Congratulations to Vice Mayor Parrish and Mayor Evans. Some updates as we're entering 2024 for you. Wallace Water Tower, Branstetter Carroll, which is our engineering firm that we've contracted with to do the design and the engineering, has submitted a permit to install application to the Ohio EPA. That's the kind of beginning phase of this process. Once that is approved by the Ohio EPA, we expect to start bidding sometime in March on that project. It'll be about a year to fabricate that tower and get that up and operational, which is probably looking at 2025. Ohio Department of Development grants, the city is working with our engineers on 2 grant applications for sanitary sewer. The 2 grant applications will be for sanitary sewer lining for the Claire-Toma subdivision, as well as a UV system for the treatment facility. The deadline for those grant submittals is January 17th, so we're working diligently to get those grants out. There is no match for those grants. So hopefully we'll give it the old try, and hopefully we're successful with that. City Hall external repairs update. If you have noticed, there's a lot of work being done at City Hall. Trisco Services is the company we contracted with to do the exterior of City Hall. Most of this project is expected to be completed this winter, but there will be some final painting and some work that will need to be done in the spring because it's weather-related, climate, temperature-related. We will have some change orders possibly for committee to consider that came up with the building and their work. One of those in particular is the ceiling around our windows and doors. If you've had an opportunity to take a look at that, the caulking around that is in bad shape. So we'll need to have a committee to discuss that prior to our next council meeting. 5 Points Landing Park, the landscaping, Evans Landscaping has started the landscaping at 5 Points Landing Park. If you'll notice, these rock boulders and formations are starting to pop up. And those will be installed the rest of this week. The former Marathon Station, our city parking lot, we're working with Buster and our contractors with Terracon. We need to install 2 monitoring wells. These will be located on Locust Street. In the next couple weeks, these wells are part of the 2-tier compliance that we need to do with Buster based off of the storage tank that used to be on that property. Those wells are going to be about that big, so they're not going to be very large, but they will need to get in the street in Locust in a couple of weeks on that. No standing committee reports at this time, but we are going to at least need probably an administrative services committee between now and the next council meeting. Reminders, January 10th is our Parks and Recs meeting at 6 o'clock. January 10th is also our Planning Commission meeting at 6 o'clock, so we'll have to work out logistics there. And then our next regularly scheduled city council meeting is January 16th at 7.
Great, thank you very much. That takes us to police report. Chief Mills.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, council, and congratulations to our new council members and our returning council member. I'm still working on my December monthly report, so I should have that to you in a few days. I do want to remind the public once again to please lock your vehicles and remove valuables. During the month of December, we had 3 theft from auto reports on Center Street alone. We're also still seeing a rash of the grand theft autos involving the Hyundais and the Kias. So there's not much you can do to prevent that. As we know, that's a manufacturer flaw, but what you can do to help is please call us if you see anything that looks suspicious. We're not going to tell the person that we detain, if we even do that, who called. We appreciate the tips. We understand that the majority of the time those tips end up being nothing, but it could be one that solves a lot of crime. So please don't be afraid to call us. Don't be afraid to use our non-emergency number, which is 513-825-2280. That number again, 513-825-2280. That's the communication center. Or if you're in a hurry and it's urgent, of course, always 911. Don't be afraid to use that. It goes to the exact same location. That's pretty much all I have, other than I do want to thank Mike Manier for the kind words. It's very humbling to be called something like that from someone that you've always considered a mentor and a friend. Thank you.
Thank you. That takes us to fire, and I see Chief Baird. I see lots of fire, but especially Chief Baird.
Good evening. I'd like to first congratulate Mr. Thompson, Mr. Velardo, Mr. Price, and of course Mr. Parrish and Ms. Evans for your appointments. Look forward to working with you. If you ever have any questions about the fire department, I'd like to take a walk through and see what the operation's all about. We'd love to have you down there sometime. I'd like to take a minute to acknowledge both the police department and the fire department honor guard members that were here this evening. The police department obviously has had an honor guard for a good number of years. We decided as a department that we also wanted to have Honor Guard members available a couple of years ago because, quite frankly, and this is not at all a slight towards Miami Township. In fact, much to the contrary, we appreciate our relationship with our neighboring fire departments. But quite frankly, I wanted to have our police department and our fire department as much as possible to be available for 9/11 ceremony, events like this evening here at the council chambers, the Frontier Days Parade, and so forth. So I want to take a minute to thank Chief Mills for working with me and Sergeant Belcher from the police department, who kind of gave us the first little jump start to get our Honor Guard up and running. And as it just turns out, I think nearly every one of them from our department who participate are here tonight. So I just wanted to give a shout out to both agencies for that. So, thank you very much. Really, I don't have anything. We'll start working on end of the year reports. I'll make arrangements with Mr. Doss to do a presentation at a work session prior to a council meeting sometime of this year to present the 2024 fire department budget approved by the fire board in early December. And other than that, I really don't have anything. Do you have any questions for us? I want to take time to thank everybody, both from the elected officials, the city staff who were there helping us to get Santa Sunday packed and ready to go. Had a great Friday night to do that. Great Sunday with them out on the streets bringing some cheer. They passed out somewhere around 1,350 treat bags. They packed them in about 2 hours on Friday night. So I'd like to extend my thanks to everybody who was a part of that, both supporting it financially and actually putting the goodies in the bags. So thank you very much. Any questions?
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, that takes us to council comments. I have a couple of things. I just want to say again, welcome to everybody. I know we've already said that, and I'm looking forward to a great year of us all working together and working with Michael to continue moving the city forward. So that'll be a good thing. Also, to let the public know, we will be having an opening on Planning Commission. Since Mr. Price was on Planning Commission, he will now step down. So you might want to look at the city website. We'll be posting that opening if you're interested in Planning Commission. And council members, we will revisit committees since we have new people. So maybe in the next week, email me a couple of the committees that you're interested in, and we'll make sure everyone gets on committees. So anybody else from council have comments?
I'd just like to congratulate Mayor Evans and Vice Mayor Parrish on being selected as mayor and vice mayor, and also welcome. It's great to have a good crowd. I know I've been to council meetings where there's not quite as many people. But I just had one, and maybe this is a charter issue, but typically, or in my past council, we had rules of council that were passed. Is that something that we will address?
I was
here?
gonna bring that up later.
Okay.
Yes, is the answer. I was gonna bring that up later. Thank you.
All right, but thank you.
Yep, thank you.
Anybody else from council wish to make a comment? All right, that takes us to Mr. Pacheco and new business.
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Velardo, to your point earlier, resolution number 2024-648, Michael Dawson, Kathy Bailey, 911 program. Whereas pursuant to Ohio Revised Code, Section 128.06A, the City of Milford must select certain members to the Claremont County 911 Program Review Committee. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the City of Milford with two-thirds of its members thereto concurring as follows. Section 1, that pursuant to Division A2 of Section 128.06 of the Ohio Revised Code, Michael Doss is hereby selected as a member of the Claremont County 911 Program Review Committee as the Chief Executive of the most populous municipal corporation in Claremont County. Section 2, that pursuant to Division A5 of Section 128.06 of the Ohio Revised Code, Kathy Bailey is hereby selected as a member of the Claremont County 911 Program Review Committee. Section 3, under and in accordance with Sections 12.05 and 12.07, this resolution City Council.
It's a resolution, not an ordinance.
One reading.
Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes.
hold on, Ms.
Actually, I
Bates.
just want to make sure.
You make the why don't you make the
Yes.
motion, and somebody
Motion
will
to
second.
adopt.
There we
How
go.
about that?
Then we need a
There we
second.
go.
You got it.
Sorry, everyone.
Then we need a second.
Second.
Now you're,
Now I,
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor, may I have,
Yes.
with your indulgence, maybe Mr. Velardo, right to your point, I was getting ready to raise it. Section 3.05 of the charter says that within 30 days of the initial meeting, council adopt written rules to govern its procedure. The last, the one that is currently in effect is from, was passed 2019-616. So members of council, you may want to take a look at those rules that are in effect. 19-616 is the resolution, and we can discuss that at whatever council wants to, but the charter requirement is within 30 days of the first scheduled meeting. So to your point, Ms. Velardo, it's timely and needs to be done within the next 30 days.
You
So,
need to have a committee meeting
yeah, you
before the
would need
next
to have a
meeting?
committee, correct, you need to have a committee meeting first. Again, another charter change,
Yes.
in my
Get rid of
opinion.
committees.
Yes, that's my opinion. Again, that's not a legal opinion, that's just a, anyway. So, yes, but you need to do that by committee and then pass it within 30 days, so thank you.
Can you do it as council as a whole committee?
Yes,
We did
that's a
tonight?
good point
Like we
too.
did
Yeah,
tonight.
just like we did
Yeah.
tonight.
Okay.
That's also,
Since we really don't have committees set up.
that's exactly a good point.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. Very good point. Thank you. And so, next time, however you want to do that is pleasure of council, but again, the charter requirement under 3.05 is within 30 days of this meeting.
So everybody, maybe Jackie could resend that out and everyone look at the rules of council
Yes.
and see if there's anything that you think needs tweaked or changed or anything.
And then I would also, if I may, congratulate Mr. Thompson, Mr. Velardo, Mr. Price. I've had an opportunity to speak with Mr. Price and Mr. Velardo before on council, and enjoyed dealing with them. Mr. Thompson, I've now looked forward to working with you. Mr. Parrish, really enjoyed working with you and continue. And I must say, since I don't know how ably, but certainly sat in the chair, and it still got your imprint on it, so. And I would also I would also say that I'm not sure there's anyone more helpful to me when I applied for this job than Mr. Manier. And I think we had three, if I recall correctly, three discussions about what he thought the position entailed and what I could do to more enhance my candidacy, for lack of a better term. And he was very helpful. So, Mike, thank you. And thank you for all you've done. And they're very big shoes to fill. And I hope to if I just put one shoe on, I'll do very well. So thank you, and thank you, Mayor. I appreciate it. And again, I appreciate working with all of you and look forward to working with all of you. As I said at the last meeting, the collegiality and the collaborative. Again, you don't have to agree, and it's not up to me whether you agree or not. But the collegiality and the collaborative nature of this body and what you've done on behalf of the citizens of the city of Milford is very impressive. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
And wish everybody a Happy New Year.
Yes.
And this is probably the worst thing I'm gonna say, but go
I
Browns.
knew he was gonna say that.
Sorry, can't help
I
it,
knew
sorry.
that was coming.
And you're from Akron.
Fired.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, the seat's awfully warm right now.
I would have warned you against that.
Thank you, Mayor.
All right.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
All right, Ms. Mayor, pursuant to and in accordance with Section 3.05 of the Milford City Charter and 121.22 G1 of the Ohio Revised Code, I'd like to call for an executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official.
Second.
Mr. Parrish?
Yes.
Ms. Cooper?
Yes.
Ms. Chamberlain?
Yes.
Ms. Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Velardo?
Yes.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Price?
Yes.
Did you call Mr. Velardo? Yes, did I miss it? Oh, okay. And we will be returning, but only for the purpose of just adjourning the meeting. So, thank you. Did anybody need anything signed? I saw some students maybe.